right, you're watching another Movie Lingo discussion, and I'm Eddie Lingo.
I'm Melissa Jansen.
I'm Cody Flutie.
Oh, Snap a Cupcake.
And we're going to talk to you today about Mad Max Fury Road. All right, so
Woo!
A lot of people don't know that this movie actually is something that started in 1979 with Mel Gibson. And actually, it's the same director, I believe his name, what is his name?
George Miller.
Thank you, sir.
I don't know.
All right, thank you for keeping me on point. So George Miller actually was involved with the writing and directing the 1979 version of Mad Max, and then the sequel, which was
Road Warrior,
and then the third one in 1985, which is probably the most common one, the most known.
Return to Thunderdome.
Exactly, with Tina Turner. And so now we do have what is considered to be a sequel / reboot. The director himself likes to call it a reintroduction or relaunch to Mad Max, and it is Fury Road. The main character has been replaced with Tom Hardy, who we all know and love, and we're about to dive into that right now. So I'm just gonna first just pull you guys right in. First off, how did you feel about the movie, Cupcake? Let me start with you. How did you feel about it?
I thought the movie was great. I thought, as far as paying homage to the previous films, it did a wonderful job. It incorporated so many elements from the previous films, but it rehashed them in its own way. And it was great. It was typical George Miller all the way through. Some complaints here and there, but honestly, it was great.
Overall, it was great.
And I'm very picky, so that says a lot.
All right, and you've seen the original three.
Yes.
All
Actually,
right.
rewatched them all before watching the.
Oh, it's awesome. We're gonna have a good talk. So, Alyssa, have you seen the previous one?
I have seen nothing.
None. So, as somebody who is new to this, who was just exposed to Mad Max, how do you feel about this movie?
I thought it was awesome.
You thought it was awesome?
Yeah, it was
cool.
It was really awesome.
Did you feel like you needed to have watched the previous one in order to enjoy it?
No, I mean, I didn't really understand anything that happened in the movie, but I thought it was still really cool.
It was still good.
Yeah, it was still really good,
Yeah.
even if I didn't know anything was happening.
That's the best way to watch a movie, I guess. All right, so we know from your review that you thought it was awesome from start to finish. Do you want to elaborate on that? Your quick review. It was a quickie.
That wasn't me.
It wasn't you?
No.
Oh, that must have been your clone, the one that...
Yeah, because what we need is more of me running around. But honestly, I loved it. I only saw Road Warrior fully. And I saw like 15 minutes of Thunderdome once at like 3 a.m. on like a Saturday night when it was raining. So
Specific.
I can't. Yeah, I remember the day. I can't really talk much about Thunderdome, but I will say the movie kicked ass from start to finish. It was a great movie, and it actually makes me want to go back and watch the first three. Not obviously comparing, because 1979 and 2015, you're gonna have way different explosions and graphics.
We're going to talk about that.
Whatnot, but I will go back and rewatch them, and it's definitely that type of movie where not only would I watch it again in theaters, but I will probably own a copy of this movie at one point.
We're talking own it.
Yeah,
I really want to go back and watch them.
You want to go back and
Yeah.
watch? Are you
I see.
sure?
you're not invited.
All right then, but yeah, I really want to go back and watch them.
All right. Well, I was gonna go into that part a little later, but let's hit it now, since you guys are always good at bringing me out. I watched the original ones. I watched all three just recently, and I realized that as a child, I actually never saw the first one.
I thought Road Warrior was the first one
Right.
until he just spoke and said that Road Warrior was not.
I mean, I always knew Mad Max existed, and I always thought I saw it. And then I'm watching it, I'm like, the hell is this? I mean, and it wasn't, the original one was not even post-apocalyptic. It was set in the very near future, but it wasn't even post-apocalyptic. And
What's the very near future for them?
well, it was 79, so to them it was probably 1999 near the end, so,
Grunge.
and it's, and so I think anyone who is just now experiencing this would be greatly disappointed to go back because of the pace and then also what their limits were. I think only the people who grew up watching it will have appreciation for it. That's my personal opinion. Cupcake, what do you think about that?
I think that most people that watch it now, I mean, you're gonna be just blown away in general by the effects. As far as having an appreciation, I think anyone can appreciate the dystopia. Just that sense of dread. All the way through. As far as appreciating it anymore, I would say it's 50-50, because I've talked to a lot of people that actually hate the old films, but
Right.
they love the new one.
Yeah.
You know, it's just, I mean, you're comparing a small, very, very small budget for the previous films to a substantial budget to this one.
Of course.
And a lot of people, I mean, it's 50-50, I'd say, with that.
I would think, for me though, my recommendation to anyone who hasn't seen it,
To not watch the old one?
I would say there's not enough story
Yeah.
that's going to affect your experience with Fury Road or the new one that's coming, which was officially, it was already rumored, but now it's fishing out, Wasteland.
We got another one coming?
Wasteland is
Oh,
coming.
that's fucking awesome.
Yeah, so that was officially
Very
tweeted
Wasted
today,
land.
even though it's been
it-
rumored on IMDb for like 8 months.
Would it have the same people that was in this one?
Yeah, it's Mad Max. He's gonna continue on. It's gonna be all in the same universe,
Charlize
same world.
Theron?
I don't know
Probably
if
not,
she'll be there again.
'cause
Yeah.
One thing I noticed in the Mad Max films, like I didn't watch all of them, but I did see you had I believe Mel Gibson played Mad Max, correct?
Yes, all three.
He played Mad Max, all three of them, but the cast around him continued to rotate.
Right.
Oh, okay.
So Charlize Theron will probably be in this one, and then another adventure will take place somewhere else with probably another badass hot woman with a robot arm and a shaved black head.
That you were allowed to do many things to you. Yes,
Dude, that robot arm would chafe me before I told her to stop.
that's so awesome.
The interesting thing, though, is that Mad Max, he's a traveler. He's a loner. You know, he's always in a different adventure. He doesn't stay in any one place very long. As you saw in the end of the movie, you know, you see him kind of just drift among the crowd, which I thought was great because that is Mad Max.
Yes.
He does not stay around. He does not try and get too close to anyone. You know, I think out of all of the films, the closest person he probably got to was probably it was somebody called Feral Kid, and
Yeah.
it was in the second one.
The second one.
It was just a little kid with a boomerang, almost like a mixture between like a fucking rat and a homeless kid running around, you know. And that was the closest he got to anyone,
That
you
was
know.
nicer than the way I was gonna put it. But they did kind of bond more than he did with his dog.
Well, yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
I mean the dog he was close to in the Road Warrior.
that was so sad.
It was a
though.
dog.
There was a dog.
There
in the
was a
second
dog.
Oh, was there a dog in this one? Although if there was a dog in this one and it died, I probably would have cried.
Well, they took care of that in a
So-
second.
I don't want to watch them anymore.
It follows the rule of thumb for pets. Pets
I-
don't belong in dystopian.
I mean, he ate a
futures.
two-headed lizard in the beginning of this movie.
That
so.
is true.
I didn't cry over that though.
No,
Yeah, well.
He wasn't furry.
Reptiles don't have
he
feelings.
wasn't furry.
a fact.
If it has fur, it cannot be killed or eaten.
Nope.
Remember that, America.
Humans don't have fur.
That's why I don't cry when they die.
Just give me a week.
Okay, all right. Moving on.
Heartless. Heartless. So, one thing what I like about this one, in the original, Mad Max was literally angry, mad. He lost his family in the first one to motorcycle gangs right before the world went to shit. And he went back and, he handled that, and he just kind of, as the world went to shit because of oil become scarce and then world wars breaking out, that's what really caused the end of all and brought us to the post-apocalyptic era. He was still just out there. He used to be a cop, and he was still out there in his Australian get-up.
Badge Max.
Still out there, with his car and all, and just fighting to survive and just killing everybody that wronged him or was wronging anybody else. And so now, this Mad Max is like literally crazy mad.
Yeah, I was just about to say that. Like,
Deranged Max.
it's a different kind of mad.
It's a different kind of mad, and I love it. I thought it was phenomenal. I mean, being out there like that in survival mode and seeing what you see, it's gotta have an effect on you, especially if your changing point. His character's changing point was when he lost his family anyway, and so from that, anything you receive, you're gonna receive on a different level. So for him to be a little off and crazy, I thought it was phenomenal. What do you think about him being crazy Mad Max instead of just angry mad?
Well, I mean, as a lot of people know, we went from Tom Hardy as Bane, which was a cold, calculated man who was a strategist, and he kicked a lot of ass in that movie, to this. I think Tom Hardy played it beautifully. There's a lot of scenes where Max just grunts. Like, he looks disconnected from reality.
Right.
Like a lot of the times, like when I believe when he's like messing with the bullets of the guns, he's just like, ugh. And like I really think that added to his whole crazy persona. And not only that, but like it was an interesting mix of crazy in a psychological way and crazy in that he's been secluded from society for many years on his own. Like, you don't talk to people when there's no one to talk to. I mean, some people do when they're insane, but that's different. And so it almost felt like Tom Hardy didn't know how to speak to the people he ran into because
Right.
he hadn't spoken to so many people. Like, a lot of his encounters were probably just, I'm gonna shoot you now.
And I'm gonna take that off your hands.
Yeah, no need for words.
You don't get that.
Yeah, exactly. So I think it was awesome to see Tom Hardy play this like crazy yet like psychologically crazy and like secluded like wasteland crazy. I think it did a really good job. At some points I would have wanted him to say a little bit more, but it worked. The movie. I wish the other people in the movie were understandable, which I already talked about.
Right.
But
Well, I want to talk about that in a second too. But Cupcake, I didn't know. How did you feel about this like mad as in crazy Mad Max that we got this time versus just the furious, angry, badass for the first three?
I think it was a little bit of the same, but I think as he's gone through this harsh wasteland, that I mean, you kind of lose yourself as well as your feelings. I mean, he's not very sympathetic into most situations,
Right.
Especially when he is kind of tasked with, "Will you help us?" And he's initially like, "Fuck you."